So, in the Seesaw Basics course, you learned how to search the activity library and how to assign activities to your students. Well, part of the advanced course is learning how to create activities. So, I'm going to walk you through the process of creating an activity. To begin, you are going to go to your activity library. So, that's your green circle with the add, and then assign activity. This is going to take you to your library, and here you will see create new activity. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. Then you're first going to need to give your activity a title. So I'm going to do parts of a flower, and then you need to give your students instructions. So before I do this, I want to talk to you about Seesaw icon shortcuts. What this does is it allows you to take these little images and put it in your directions. We know a lot of our students are visual learners at the age of pre-K through second grade, so these little icons will help navigate them and help lead them in doing their activity. So these are a great resource, and this is going to be linked on that how to create activities page within the course. So make sure you check it out. So we will be using these. I'm going to come back over here and start doing my directions now. So drag each label, the part of the flower. Sorry, I was saying it as I was typing it, but I figured you may not enjoy me doing that as I am typing. So I'm going to try not to. Okay, so the next word I want is mic because I'm going to have students record within this activity. So I'm going to come over here, find the picture of the mic, and then I'm going to copy that shortcut, and then come back to my activity and just paste it there. And the next word I want is pin. So here it is. Copy my word. Back over. Paste. Because now I'm going to have them draw roots on the flower. And the last one is going to be for them to select the check mark, the green check mark. So I need to find that. Here it is. All right, so my directions. Drag each label beside the part of the flower it identifies. Select the mic and identify the parts of the flower. Select the pen and draw roots on the flower. And then select the check when you are ready to submit. Something else that's great for our littles is that you can record yourself reading these directions. So for those non-readers, they can actually listen to your directions as they are doing the activity. It's not only available at the beginning when they go to start the activity, but I'll show you later, it's in a little drop down so they can listen to it as many times as they need to. So I'm going to go ahead and record my voice here. Drag each label beside the part of the flower it identifies. Select the mic and identify the parts of the flower. Select the pen and draw roots on the flower. Select the check when you are ready to submit. All right, so got my recording there. If I have other things I want to attach, you do have that option to upload other things as well, or if you've already recorded your audio somewhere else, you can do that here. The next is an option, it's to add a template. For this activity, I am going to have a template for my students that they're going to have to use, but you can also leave this open for choice, which is also a great option to allow every now and then, and let them be creative on how they complete activities. So they could draw something, they could write a story, they could type it out. So definitely, I would say, don't always use a template, but there are times that it is appropriate to use a template, which this is one of those times. So I'm going to select that option and remind it's going to be a drawing. Now I want to give them a flower. So one of the things I do kind of want to talk about when we're doing this is make sure if you are going to upload something that you are using royalty-free images. So a good place to start is pixabay.com, Pixabay, and this is going to help us avoid any kind of copyright issues. So I want a flower, but I need it with a stem. And these up here are not, these are paid ones, so you've got to scroll down. And let's see if I can find. So I've got a rose there. It's another one. I'm going to go with this one. And you select, you do not have to have an account. This is free. Free download. It'll give you size and done. I'm not a robot. And download. And it's going to pop it right onto my downloads bar, which is great. So then I can come back to my activity. You're going, if you're uploading an image for your background, you're going to choose the camera and then upload. It's going to pop, there is my image, open. It's going to put it right there for me, which is great. Now, something I need to do, I do not want students to move the flower around. So in order to lock something in place, you right click on the image or icon, and then you're going to choose lock. So now it does not move. I'm selecting it and it's not letting me move it. Okay, and now I need to create my label. So I need some text. So I need flower. I'm going to move it over here. Now, I do want my students to be able to move this because they are going to have to move them around, so I'm not going to lock this. Kind of move it around. I need another one. Stem. Leaf. And lastly, roots. Now, what I've thought about is they need to be able to draw roots on there because that's part of the activity. So I am actually going to right click, unlock, and now I can resize my image to make it a little smaller in order for them to draw those roots on there. All right, and now I need to relock, so right click. Sorry, I'm having issues. Lock it. All right, double check. It is locked, so they cannot move it. Okay, so I believe my activity is done and ready to go, so I'm going to do my green check. It is now added my template down here, and I'm ready to save it. Now what I want to do is I want to test this out for my students. So I'm going to go ahead and assign it to my sandbox. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and review this and add a response. And I'm going to do it, this is where that sample student comes in. Select sample student. Okay, first, view instructions right here. Drag each label beside the part of the flower it identifies. Select the mic to identify the parts of the flower. Select the pen and draw roots on the flower. Select the check when you are ready to submit. And here are those instructions that I can play. Drag each label beside the part of the flower it identifies. So that works, which is great. And remember, students can come back to this as many times as they need to. So if they need to do one step at a time and go do some work, then come back, click, okay, what do I do next? Remind them that they can do that. That is going to be there for them the entire time at the very top. All right, so let's make sure I can drag all of my labels. Got leaf, I've got stem, flower, and I know my roots are going to be down here. Then I need to select the pen and draw some roots. I can change my color to brown. And all right. And then I needed to, what did I have to do next? Oh yes, I need to select the mic and identify the parts of the flower. That's all that I'm missing. So close it out. Here's the mic. The parts of a plant include the flower, leaves, stem, and roots. Come back over to pause it. And I believe I'm ready, so I'm going to select the check. If I want, I can play it there. I can re-record, select the check again to move on. And now I've submitted that as a sample student. So remember, there's all kinds of different activities you can create. So feel free to explore, try things out, and definitely remember to complete them as the sample student. That way you know that your directions make sense and it is easy enough to follow for your students.